Hi guys. Okay, so I'm going to use this new My Favorite Things stamp set called Magical Friends. This is a Bernie Brown illustration. I had used it previously and made this beautiful card. This little girl, I feel like she's either sipping coffee or looking at a picture, and she's thinking about her time with her pet dragon. I'm imagining I'm with you right now. So super cute. I put it on some, I believe this is Doodlebug Designs paper, and I had just colored it in with some watercolor pencils. So cute card. I want to use this stamp set again. I have a little bit of a different idea. By the way, this video is sponsored by Not Too Shabby Shop, so you can pick up this stamp set there. Anything that you have questions about, post down below. I will link all of the items in the description down below. Also, there will be a discount code for you guys. All right, so I've already taken out this big stamp where she's kind of flying on the dragon. And I stamped it on some masking paper. This is Inkadinkado mask paper. And what the masking paper does is it allows us to make a mask. So you stamp on the white side and then you cut it out, which I have here. This is a piece of mixed media cardstock, so it's a little bit heavier. Excuse me. And then I have a little round mask here. So I'm going to kind of make this look like the moon. And then I was originally going to do a daytime scene and do like clouds. Use the My Favorite Things cloud stencil and just stencil clouds. But then I thought, you know what, this would look really cool if it was like an evening starry night scene. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I do want to stamp my image. I am using some Brutus Monroe Detail Raven ink. And we're just going to make it look like they're flying in the night sky. Okay. And then now we'll put our masking paper over top of that. Okay, pretty good. And then we have our moon there. And then I do have a couple of different colors of Distress ink. I have Black Soot, Dusty Concord, Wilted Violet, Blueprint Sketch, and Ship Sapphire. Now, we may not use all of these, but we have them available. So I'm going to start with some of the lighter colors first with Blueprint Sketch. And these are just regular Distress inks. And I kind of want it, the lighter color to kind of be around them, almost like, you know, like the moonlight is casting on them. And the reason I picked mixed media paper was I was originally going to do like a watercolor, really kind of wet background. And then I changed my mind to go with Distress ink. So if you have Bristol paper, that would also work really well. It just makes it easier to blend. I'm going to add some of this bright purple, this Wilted Violet. Okay, and now we'll go with some of our darker colors. We have Dusty Concord, and we're going to kind of go out towards the edges with the darker colors. And my fingers are putting white prints in there, so just want to remember to grab some Post-it tape, put that on my fingers so I don't get, see these white spots? Those are fingerprints from my fingers lifting that ink. And if you don't have Post-it tape, you can just use regular tape or another piece of paper just to hold down your image so that you don't get your fingerprints all over it. And let me go in with some chipped sapphire. last but not least, I'm going to go around the edges with some black soot. So now we pull, actually, I'm going to leave my moon on there for right now because I want to add some quick stars. Super easy to do. First way I'm going to do it is just to take some Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen. Put a blob of that on my acrylic block here. And you kind of want to make sure all your stuff is out of the way because this gets a little messy. So let's move all of these out of the way real quick. There we go. As I stick my paper towel right in it. Okay. All right, and then we're just going to drag it to the edge and kind of flick. Just need a little bit of that. That's going to give it some sparkle. Sparkle and shine. All right. Let me just clean this up. And I want to leave the masks on there because I don't want them on top of my moon and my dragon. I want them behind it. And a lot of times I forget that and I do that and then we end up with dots on our image. So we want to leave the mask on there. That just takes a second to dry, and then either some white distress paint or this is a little bit of Copic opaque white, and then you want a teeny tiny brush. And then I just take a little dab of that. I mean, a very, very little dab of that. And I'm going to take some water. And make it real runny. And the same concept, just going to kind of flick it. Okay, so now it looks like we have stars. And you want to clean that up if you're using Copic fairly quickly because it is permanent. And it's a little tough to get off after the fact. So you want to clean your surface, your brushes, all of that good stuff. Of course, I'm wearing a black sweater today. Okay. And just give that a second to dry. Of course, you could hit it with your heat tool if you wanted it to dry quicker. Just want to clean my brush off here quick. Okay. So I'm going to get the heat gun and just heat those. If you have too much, you can always go in with a paper towel and blot it off. I think it's just right, so I don't want to blot it off, but I do want to hit it with the heat tool quick. Probably a little bit too much sparkle there. Okay, now you can take your masks off. So we have our little moon. And then we're going to take the mask off of our little dragon here. Okay, and you can always save that and reuse it. Okay, and since I stamped this in Brutus Monroe Raven ink, that's alcohol safe ink. We can actually go in with some alcohol markers and color this in quick. So this is a Spectrum Noir Tri marker. It has 3 different colors, kind of flesh tones. But this should be fairly easy to color. Okay, pretty easy so far. That was the orange tri-blend marker. And then this one is the jade green. So we'll do our dragon in this. I bought these markers a while back. I haven't used them. So it's kind of easy if you're just starting out because they already have your, you know, your base, your mid-tone, and your darkest colors on there. So I can start with my base and color the whole image. And it's so easy to color these because they're just very nicely illustrated, very simple. You can color these in, like I said, last time I did it with color pencil, I think it was watercolor pencils. So you can do color pencils, watercolor pencils, markers, alcohol markers, regular markers, you know, Tombow markers, whatever you have, crayons, watercoloring. Okay, so now my base layer is down. Now I can go in with the mid-tone. And anywhere that I believe it should be darker, like in his ears here, maybe a shadow under his ears, here under her leg, a little bit under his horns here. Just go back in with a lighter color and blend that out. And then what the second coat does is not only does it intensify the color, it smooths out any of our marker lines, but it also will blend. So you're blending, you're intensifying the color, and you're smoothing it out by adding multiple coats. Now, a lot of people are afraid. I was one of those people to use these markers because we're used to coloring one time, one layer. I mean, that's how we're taught in school. We're blending and then we're done. Well, with these alcohol-based markers, the more you layer it, the better it looks. Like I said, the more it smooths out. There's less brush strokes or lines. There's more blending and more even coverage. So just the more you do with these alcohol markers, the better it looks. And it's okay if it bleeds through on the back side. Okay, so that would be the first and second layer, and then just repeat. If it's not blending, you just keep go back in with that first marker and pull that color out. Now for his belly, because it's on his underside, I want to make that a little darker, so I'm going to use the mid-tone as my base color. And then I'll take the darkest shade, which is on the end here, and it has a number on it, number 3, dark. And then I'll just go in and use that to shade where I want on his belly, which is going to be right above the lines here. So just short little strokes, and then I will go back in with the mid-tone and again blend it out. Oops, I meant to do the lighter color on that one. That's okay. I'm going to do the same thing for his scales, where I'm going to do the mid and the dark. I'm not really doing any kind of shadows on them, just, you know, making them more pronounced. And then, of course, if you wanted to go in with the darker, you can. But again, these are very tiny. So I don't even know that it makes that much of a difference because it's such a small area. Okay, his wings I'm going to do in a different color, and I think he looks pretty good. So the one thing I wanted to show is you can see there's a slight white outline in some of the areas where I didn't cut the masking paper out, and so our distress tool didn't get in there. I tried to find a marker that's going to be close to that background shade. That's too blue. I need a little bit lighter. Okay, and just very carefully, just kind of go in and fill that in. Most people probably aren't even going to notice it. The only reason we notice it is because, you know, our faces are in the card for making it. So just kind of outline the image, and it almost gives it like this shadow look. And I always try to go with a little bit lighter color because you can layer it and add more if you need to. This is pretty close, and this will dry back a little bit because it's an alcohol marker. So like in here. Okay. There we go. So that's all filled in. And we just need to do a little bit more and we are done coloring. Okay, so we need to color her hair. I think we will make her blonde, like a dirty blonde. And just need to do his wings. Oh, I forgot to do her pants. Let's give her some dark blue pants. Okay, and then for his wings, I was going to do them like a light color so I can make them kind of glittery and translucent, but then I thought, well, that would look too fairy-like. So I think I'm going to do a darker color, like maybe a darker purple. Ooh, that matches too well with the background, actually. Whoopsie. All right, well, we'll just put this down as our base layer. And then we'll layer up our color. Now I did it all real nice, and now my wings are backfiring on me. No. Well, that'll have to do for wings. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it'll have to work. Okay, so last thing I want to do is I want to take a really light gray. Whoa, yes, I need that too, but I don't need that right now. And I just like to draw like some squiggles and craters into the moon. That was just using C1. And then I will go in with my shimmer pen again and color in the moon. It's a lot of shimmer. Well, maybe we'll put some shimmer on his wings anyway. A lot of shimmer. And then all we need to do is mount this, put a sentiment on there, and we're done. Okay. So again, the stamp set is called Magical Friends. Again, it's a Bernie Brown set, and I think it's Birdie Brown. Sorry, Birdie Brown. I got it from the Not Too Shabby shop. Again, as being part of one of the design team members, I will link down below for you a coupon code so you guys can get a discount. They also have a rewards program, so the more you spend, the more you earn in terms of rewards and points and things like that. But if you have any questions about anything, post it down below. If you like this video, I always appreciate your thumbs up. Any questions or comments, also post those down below. And here are the 2 cards that I made with the same stamp set. I hope you guys hope you guys like them. I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day to watch this. Thanks for watching, and keep on stamping. Bye-bye.